I just do this like this. There's no good place to set the camera up, but I just wanted to talk a little bit again about these angle heads. You know, this is my old 3-inch Tape Tech angle head, and I'm going to compare it to my new 3.5-inch Drywall Master angle head. But I want you to take a really close look at this, if you can. So that's the Drywall Master. That's the Tape Tech. This is not an angle head. Side by side. Now, what I thought was really neat about the Drywall Master, angle head, is these little clips that they have. So I can pop that spring off just like that. You see how I just did that? So I pull this back now and the spring goes back. I pull the spring back and the spring lifts up. Now understand, for years I always had 2 3-inch angle heads. I always used 2 of them. And if you look really closely, you'll see there are 2 springs on the top of this. And what I used to do is I used to take the spring off of one of them. So I would only run one with 1 spring, and the other one, I got something in front of the camera here. I would run one with 1 spring, and I would run one with 2 springs. The one that I would run with 1 spring, I used it for taping because it didn't bind, it pushed in really easy, and it glazed everything out really nice when I was running the bazooka and just running the glazing pole. Well, that's what I'm going to do with this job right now, is I'm going to use this 3-inch head, and I'm going to take off the 1 spring just like this, and I'm going to glaze this. I'm going to glaze this and run the angles with this thing. And then what I'm going to do is when I go to finish, I'm going to use the 2.5-inch head to do the finishing. Now, I've never done that before. I've never ran a big angle head for taping and a small angle head for skimming. But I'm going to try it on this job. I think it's going to work really well. I've seen other guys do it. I just never have. I'm always in the mindset of 7, 10, 12. You know, 2.5, 3.5. You know, always going out a little bit bigger. So I'm not in the mindset of doing a 3.5 and then a 2.5. That doesn't quite seem right to me, but I'm going to try it on this job. I think it's going to do a great job. I really do. I'm kind of excited to see how that works. But bear with me. You'll see it all. I can't really show you while I'm working because this is a small job. I will mess up this camera. I really have to get the camera out of the way. I'll have mud all over it like I have on the top of my hat here and on me. So bear with me, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I glaze it, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I skim it, and we're going to see what it looks like. I'll put this together with my other angle head videos. I'm going to just make one video and it'll look great. Well, I'm going to show you what I don't like about this 3.5-inch angle head that I had to take that I took the springs off. I'm going to show you what I don't like about it first. First of all, it's big. So when I started out, it took a while before it got mud. Now, I probably could have taken it, dipped it in the bucket, and got some mud on there, and it would have been just fine. I also wanted to show you this. If you can see this really close, let me turn this camera around again and zoom in. You see that edge? I have to scrape that edge off because it was too big. Had it been a smaller head, it would have just filled in much nicer. But I had to take that edge off. But I'll tell you what I love about it, really. I just used a glazing pole again. I did not have to use my mud runner. And I'm telling you, I use that 3-inch head of Ames or Tape Tech. I have to use the mud runner. It will not fill the stuff in like this. This angle head fills in so much better than the Tape Tech does for taping, because I have to use the mud runner, otherwise I have hollow spots everywhere. Let me try to find some. I have holiday hollow spots just like this everywhere when I use the Tape Tech 3-inch head. Now let me show you what I really love about it is this angle. This particular angle is really out of square. I mean, it is not a completely square angle. And look at the fill that it left this edge, and that told me this angle is really out of square. So that angle head just squared up that corner beautifully. I love that. I love it when an angle head does that. I will always use this now. Just for that reason right there. When you don't have a square angle, when I go to glaze this and skim this now, it's going to skim out perfectly. But with the other angle head, without it being square, when I go to glaze it, it's going to leave big edges. When I go to skim it, it's going to leave big edges. It's already left the big edge. Now it's square, and when I skim it, it's done. It's done. So, thumbs up for this 3.5-inch angle head, where I can take those little springs off for taping. I think this is going to be a great thing. I cannot wait to skim this job with the 2.5-inch head to see how good that looks. So I'm getting ready to run. Well, I ran some of these angles already with this 2.5-inch head. Wow, incredible, guys. I really like what it just did. But let me show you. So this was a 3.5-inch head that I taped with. So I taped all of these angles and glazed them out with the 3.5-inch head. Now I took the 2.5-inch head and I started skimming the angles with it. I'm gonna still have to strip this edge by hand, but I do that most of the time anyway. Most of the time when I'm running angles, I strip the edges anyway. But man, this is just incredible the way this looks. I mean, this is going to be really, really easy sanding when I'm done. It just came out so nice. Just so nice. It was fast. I mean, I just did this in a minute or two. I ran all of these angles in just a minute or two. And they're going to be perfect, absolutely perfect. So I'm going to be doing that from now on. I'm going to be running my 3.5-inch head for my tape coat and the 2.5-inch head for my finish coat. I think I'm going to have very, very little sanding and detail when I'm done. You guys have a great day. Okay, after you saw that video, I changed my way of doing it. I use the 2.5-inch head to glaze now, the 3.5-inch head to finish. Gives me a much better product, a lot less touch-up, a lot less stripping at the very end. So I did change it. I do have another video that I've got out there, and it talks about the 3.5-inch head, the 2.5-inch head, and doing it the other direction that you just saw in that video. So I'm going to get that one posted in a little bit. But yeah, I don't do it the way this video is talking about it anymore. I changed it up, and it works much better. You guys have a good day. If you really like these videos, subscribe, share these videos. I've got new camera shots. I've got new sound system. I hope all of the sound quality's better, the camera shots are better. So come and see me on my new channel. Subscribe, share. We hope to see you there. You have a good day.